Welcome everybody. Today is yoga for hips and my name is Jeff. We're going to start in a nice lying down posture. Today you'll need a yoga block optionally. If not, we can make do without, and a strap. If you don't have a strap at home, you can use a tie or any sort of belt buckle. We're going to come down onto our backs. And from here, we're going to take the strap and wrap it around our right foot. Take a few deep breaths, long inhales and exhales. Allow your abdomen to rise and fall. Holding on to the foot, we're going to bend that right knee and allow the right knee to drop to the right side. Then we're going to inhale back to center. If you have any tension in the back of your neck, feel free to keep the head grounded or place your head on a block, which actually decompresses the neck. Now we want to keep the left foot grounded, so think about pressing the left heel into the ground and curling the left toe towards the head and chest. We're dynamically opening through the inside of the inner thigh and the outside of the hip bone. Feel that nice massaging effect through the whole base of your spine. If it feels good, we're going to start to slide the right knee just a little bit closer to the head and chest, getting a little bit of a deeper decompression through the inner thigh, hip and groin and pelvis. Really focusing on hip flexor release today. And we're going to extend that right knee. Dynamic warm up, allow the right foot to drop towards the ground. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to roll the ball of my right foot towards the ground and slide my right heel towards my sit bone. Now as I squeeze my glutes, I tuck my tail and lift my pelvis. That's known as your root lock or Mula Bandha. My sit bone scoops underneath and both of my hips lift up to my armpits. And I imagine I'm squeezing an imaginary ball between my inner thighs. Then if I like a little bit more, I can hold onto the strap and slide the arms over the crown of the head, allowing the elbows to soften, and I'm getting a gentle stretch into the front of my right hip flexor. It's starting to gently expand and open. Then from here, I'm going to slide my right knee and my left knee in a bent position. And if I can, I'm going to take the strap and I'm going to put my left foot in the strap as long as my right. Get a nice twist here. Allow both of my feet to press into the ground. Now I'm going to squeeze my glutes and remove the block and see if I can place the block just on the base of my spine here. Now as I tuck my tail and lift my pelvis, I get a wonderful hip flexor release. If this is too much for you, feel free to bring the block a little bit lower, or perhaps even take it all the way away and just relax here on the earth. Focus on squeezing the sit bones together, tucking the tail and lifting the pelvis. Start to slide the heels towards the head and chest, getting a stretch from the kneecap up to the hip bone. And again, we can have that same action, holding onto the strap, reaching the strap up towards the forehead, the crown chakra, tongue to the roof of the mouth, releasing the jaw and hair. And for those who want a little bit more sensation, we can start to bring the block a little bit higher, perhaps using the full length of the block or grounding the heels into the mat. This will create a wonderful stretch and elasticity through the hip flexor line. A couple of deep, slow inhales and exhales here, creating that elasticity through the hips, through the front thighs, through the pelvis. Relax and breathe. If it feels good, we can release the strap here and extend the hands over the head, palms facing the sky. With the hands extended over the head, we get a deeper decompression through the hips and pelvis, and then slowly release the hands, releasing the block if we're using it. We'll slide our knees towards our head and chest, unwrap the foot, and wrap the strap around the left side this time. Keeping the left knee bent. We can keep this right knee bent if we need to, if we have any lower back issues. Otherwise, we extend that hip. We're going to draw the left knee to the left side, back to the center as we inhale. Exhale, left knee to right side, corner long. Again, remember the placement of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. This decompresses the jaw. 90% of our body's tightness is stored in the neck and jaw. And that tight neck muscle translates into the hip. We have a connection between the hip and So when we relax the jaw, we relax the hip. When ready, slowly slide that left knee a little closer if it feels available, allowing the tongue to relax and decompress. Really feeling more expansion into the outside of the hip bone, into the inner thigh, massaging the lower back, and allowing the tongue to decompress. Extending that left knee here, we roll the left toe to the ground, creating a stretch of the hip flexor. Feeling free to slide the hands towards the crown of the head as the baby toe rolls to the ground. Feel the stretch of the hip flexor from the knee all the way up to the hip bone, through the front of the quadricep, and breathe. When ready, slowly slide the left knee in. This time we can take the strap around both feet. Point the toes, roll the toes to the ground. Bring the strap wherever feels available. And you'll notice as you tuck your tail and lift your pelvis, squeezing your sit bones together, you create that hip flexor softening. Progression 1 is to stay here. If anyone wants to go further, you can take the block and place your lower back on the block. Lengthwise, widthwise, or heightwise. And remember as you do this, to roll the balls of the feet to the ground. And hold. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the tail, lift the pelvis as both hips press up into the sky. Feel the inside of the hip flexor softening. Expanding like an elastic band. Deep breaths. Also creating a stretch to the front of the shin and the top part of the foot. We feel that massaging effect. When ready, slowly allow the knees to bend. Release the block. Slide the knees to the head and chest and remove the strap. From here, we're going to slowly come up into a seated position. You can either lift your head and chest and roll up, or you can roll to your side and come up to center. Sliding our knees under our hips and our hands under our shoulders. If you have any pressure on your kneecap, perhaps the floor is hard at home, you can put a block underneath your right kneecap. Then we can find the left foot forward. Slide the right knee back until the front of the right hip starts to open up. That's that hip flexor. Feeling the stretch from the right kneecap up to the hip bone. Keep a deep bend of 90 degrees in the left knee, sliding the left knee over the ankle behind the big toe. Dynamic release here. Use the left elbow, slide the left knee out to the left side corner, keeping the left big toe grounded into the earth. Inhale, left knee back to center. If it feels good, wrap the left hand on the outside of the knee. Gently roll it inwards as you exhale. Inhale, back to center. Changing sides as we exhale, sliding the left knee out. Big toe stays grounded into the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, switch. Keep the shoulders relaxed, the tongue and jaw. Slight bend in the right. Ready, slowly hold. If it feels good, we're going to shift the weight back onto the right knee, bending the right knee, extending the left. Allow the left baby toe to lift off the mat, and then shift forward. A couple more repetitions here. Exhaling back. Inhaling forward. This is what we call vinyasa yoga, or flowing sequence. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. We hold here. We're going to make a full circle. Slide the left knee over the ankle, then slide it inward. Shift it back, extending the left knee. Then shift out to the side. You'll feel a wonderful opening to the inside of the left hip bone and the inside of the right hip bone as we move through the circumference of that circle. Allow the toe to lift as we go back, and the knee to slide over the ankle as we roll forward. When it feels good, reverse the direction of that circle, keeping the shoulders and upper back relaxed and the tongue dropping to the roof of the mouth. When ready, we're going to hold center and breathe. Now, you may want to stay here today. If you want to go a little further, we're going to curl the toes under, pressing the balls of the feet into the mat, and lift the right knee off the mat as we press the right hip bone down to the ground. If this is too much, keep your right knee on the block. You may want to stay here, or you may want to lift the left hand up, looking to the left thumb, rolling the left knee to the left side wall, and shifting the left knee over the ankle, expanding and opening to the chest. Then we inhale back to center, exhale, right hand reaches up. We can use the left elbow to roll the left knee to the left outside corner. Tongue dropping to roof of mouth. Slowly recenter and breathe. We'll do that sequence again. So those who are struggling, you're just going to put your left hand on the inside of your ankle and go through a rotation here instead, or here. Then releasing it down. And those who are struggling to lift the right hand over the head, we can just take it to the hip. Roll the shoulder back, and then recenter. One more time through that sequence, whatever progression feels good for you. Feel free to keep that left knee down to support your balance. Feeling elasticity through the hip flexor and pelvis. And then we're going to soften that left knee back. Take a moment to breathe. I like to shift my hips back here, child's pose, and then shift forward. And if this is too much on your wrist, you can come onto your elbows, shift back, and shift forward, and decompress your spine. And then we're going to place the block under the left knee, if we're using it, as we shift the right foot forward. Weight into the right heel, chest lifted. We're just going to use the right elbow to roll the right knee to the right side corner. Feel the opening through the inside of the right hip and pelvis. Think about tucking your tail and lifting your pelvis, squeezing your sit bones together. Feel the chest expanding, eye gaze forward. Then we bring the right hand on the outside of the right knee, keeping the right baby toe down. Gently roll the right knee in slightly. Keep that sequence going, hands to the inside. Feels good, look up for a deeper stretch through the hip flexor. Otherwise, look forward or down. Down is the most gentle variation. Sliding that right knee out, in, out, center. Deep breaths. Respecting the body in its present. When ready, we're going to go through those wonderful extensions back. Extend that right knee, allow the toes to lift, and then shift forward. Inhale back, steadying the hip and pelvis. Exhale forward. Deep breaths. One more time. Then we go through that full circle, the right knee over the ankle, behind the big toe, weight through the right heel, out to the side. Allow the toes to lift as we shift back. Roll inward with the knee up to the top. Full dynamic circle. Noticing how your body feels at different points of the circle. This brings a wonderful stretch, lubrication, and expansion through the whole hip, groin, and pelvis, really targeting the hip flexor release and opening. When ready, return to center. We can put our right hand on our thigh and roll, or we can reach it up. If you want more, we lift that back knee off the ground. Slowly recenter, other way. Feel free to keep your left hand on your left outside hip or extend it out. For more intensity, we lift the back knee as we exhale, rolling the top shoulder back, inhaling back to center. 2 more times through that sequence, sliding the front knee over the ankle behind the big toe. And if you don't need the block for your knee, you can also put the block here as a modification. This gives you a gentler version of the same movement. Deep breaths. When When ready, we slowly recenter our knee. Slide the right foot back to meet the left. This time we're going to press the fingertips into the mat. Unless you have wrist injuries, and you can drop to your elbow. Push the hips up and back. Let the head fall between the armpits. Now we don't want to force the heels down, just go let them go as far as feels comfortable for your body. Lifting your knees up to your hips, we feel a stretch to the hamstring and lower back. Rolling the elbows inwards, expanding the shoulder blades across the back, like an eagle spreading its wings. Feel the outside of the elbows inwardly rolling to try to shake hands with the inner ribs. When ready, slowly release, softening down. Right foot steps forward and left. Rise. Head and chest come up last. We're going to take the left foot back. Left baby toe presses into the ground. Take a look at your right ankle. Can you see your ankle? If you can, slide the left foot further back so the ankle becomes invisible. That's a warrior one, that's good for you. Shift the weight into the right heel, lifting the chest. Now I'm going to take my left hand to roll my left hip inward and my right hand to roll my right hip outward, so my pelvis is parallel to the short edge of the mat. If I find my left baby toe starts to peel off the mat, or if I find my hips are not level to the short edge, I just take my left foot and slide it out to the side. From here, I'm going to inhale my hands up through my heart, level 1, level 2 over the head. Level 3, I lean back as I shift my hips forward and press my chest back. Exhale, hands on the front thigh. Shoulders relaxed. Stay here for more intensity. Shift the hips back. Lean the head and chest forward. And for more, extend the fingers forward. Slowly rise up. Inhale. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the tail, lift the pelvis. And then exhale. Notice how I keep a deep bend in my right knee as I move through the sequence. Particularly as I lean back, a lot of people will start to straighten that knee. You want to keep it nice and bent. For those who want more, we lift the left heel off the mat. I rotate my toe in, so I'm in a crescent lunge alignment. And this gives me a deeper stretch through that hip flexor line. Breathe. And if I want more, I'm going to start to slide my left toe back, creating more extension through my left hip flexor. And the next inhale, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to start with my left toe down, progression 1. Left hand reaches up. I'm going to roll my right knee back to the right outside wall. Inhale back to center, left hand to right inner thigh, right knee over ankle. Right hand comes out. For those who want more, I'm going to lift my back knee, drop my hips down as I move through that twist. And if I want more, as I come to the inhale in the center, I'm going to lean back. And then exhale. Breathe. Deep breaths. And I'm welcome to keep my back foot on the ground. After my last repetition, I'm going to step my left foot forward. Feel free to shake out my knees, hips, and pelvis. Lifting through my chest, then the other direction. Relax the whole body. And I'll find my right foot back. Baby toe drops. If I need to, bring the legs a little wider. Can I see my left ankle? If I can, I slide my right foot further back. I press my left knee out to the left side corner, rolling my right hip inward. Inhale up here or here. Exhale down. Remember my options. Lean back and forward. Back flat like a tabletop. Lifting through the chest, maintaining a deep bend in the left kneecap. feels good. I lift my back toe into the air, challenging the balance. Breathe. Ready, recenter. Now that right foot to drop. Right hand reaches up, left hand rolls the left knee to the left side corner. Inhale, center. Exhale, switch. Advanced participants lift the back toe. And we can inhale through a back bend. Exhale, side. Deep breath. Tongue to roof of mouth. Try not to let that left knee roll inward. When ready, recenter. Shake up the hips. Circle one way. Circle the other way. Relax. Left foot steps back. This time I start with my left heel off the mat. I'm going to press my hip forward and slide my right knee over the ankle. I'm going to keep shifting my right heel forward, weight coming onto the ball of the left toe. Scoop my sit bone under, feel the stretch to the hip flexor. Progression 1, stay here. Progression 2, start to slide that left toe back. Lift the chest. If this is too much for you, you can keep the back toe down. That's okay too. If you can, we're going to start to drop that hip, sliding the left toe back. And if you can, we're going to lean the chest back and reach up. Breathe. Keep sliding that right knee over the ankle, rolling it out to the right side. Feel the stretch from the inside of the left hip bone all the way to the inside of the top of the left knee. Ready, we slowly rise. Other side. Progression 1, we can stay here or here. That's it. So we slide that foot back and we slide the left knee over the ankle. Keep shifting the weight back, back, back with that right toe. Allow the hips to settle down like concrete cement. Weight shifting into left heel, engaging through the gluteal. It feels like we want to go up and reach out. We lean back with the chest as we slide the left knee over the ankle. Keep leaning back, back, back. Feel that wonderful hip flexor opening up through here. Softening, expanding like elastic band. And we sink. Extending that back knee. Ready. We rise. Shake out the hips. One way. The other way. Slowly bend the knees. You notice we've worked up a little bit of a stretch here. Coming down onto our abdomen. We relax. We're going to press both hips into the ground, squeezing our glutes. Bending our right knee. Slide the kneecaps together so they touch. Hold. Now you can use a strap here and wrap the strap around your right foot. Or you can hold on to your pant leg, or you can hold on to your toe. Whatever feels good. You can press your left fingertips into the ground for stability. Lift the chest, shoulders soften. Tuck tail of pelvis, roll the right knee into the left. It feels good, we can put the left hand on top of the right. Squeeze the glutes as we slide the right heel towards the right buttocks. Option, lift the head and chest. Feel the stretch through the front of the thigh. Hip flexor softening. Shoulders softening away from the ears. For more, bend those back elbows to allow that heel to come closer to the buttocks. If you want a little bit more, we're going to release the hands. Put the top of the left foot on top of the right foot. And we're going to see if we can wrap our hands around the top of the left foot. Pressing the top of the left foot into the top of the right, squeezing the knees together and pushing the hip bones down. When ready, release. Little massage here, then both of the knees. Chin centered on the palms. Drop the knees to the right, look to the left. Bring the knees to the center, look to the center. Drop the knees to the other side, look away. Inhale, center, keep that sequence going, massaging the pelvic floor, the front thighs, the hips, the whole body. Let your whole body relax, release, and soften. When ready, slowly come back to center. Allow the right foot to drop, bending the left knee, sliding the knees towards each other, like the insides of the kneecaps are shaking hands. Stay here, squeeze the glutes, tuck the tail, press the hip bones into the mat. If you want more, we can hold on to the strap, onto the foot, to our pant leg, or clasp the toe, sliding the left heel towards the left gluteal. You can lift the head and chest, pressing the right elbow and forearm down, allowing the ribs to lift away from the hip bones, bringing expansion to the upper torso line, bending that back elbow for more. Or you can take your right hand on top of your left, getting a little bit of a deeper elasticity, feeling the front of the thigh release and soften. And if it feels good, you can put your right foot on top of your left foot and wrap your hands around the right foot, drawing your hip bones down, pressing the knees together, lifting the chest, tongue to roof of mouth, shoulders softening, and then we slowly release. Inhale up to tabletop. Exhale into the seated posture. Enjoying the sensations and the opening of our whole body. I'm going to take my left knee in a bent position, and I'm going to take my right foot out to the side corner. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slide my right heel as far as feels comfortable towards my right buttocks as I press my hip forward. This is going to start to create a stretch from the inside of the kneecap all the way up to the hip bone, through the inner quadricep and into the hip flexor. If it feels like I want to go further, I can take a block, take it behind me, and place my hands on the block as I recline back, softening my shoulders and lifting my chest. If I want to go further, I can bring my head back to the block, allow my elbows to touch. Perhaps I want a little bit more here. If that's the case, I can take my left heel and press down, rolling that right knee to the mat. And if I want to go a little further, I can bring my head to the ground and reach the block over my head and chest, making sure I'm not putting any pressure on my lower back. So I soften my shoulders. I just go to the place that feels good for me. Deep breaths. Allow your shoulder blades to drop, the shoulders to release away from the ears, and your whole body to decompress. When the time is right, we can use our elbows to bring ourselves up. Slowly extend that leg. Counterbalancing here, I bring my left sole of my foot to the inside of my right thigh, and then I exhale and hinge at the hip, keeping my spine extended like a ruler hat. If it feels good, I let my head and chest come forward. Shoulders soften, tongue to roof of mouth, abdomen draws in tight. Slowly rise to center. Let's do the other side. Left knee bends. Right heel comes, left heel comes towards the buttocks. Keep this foot relaxed. I may just want to go back a little bit. I can use the block if I like. Or maybe I can go a little further. If I want to go further, I can take my right heel and roll my left knee to the ground. Wonderful. Perhaps I want to recline a little further with the option of extending the hands over the head. So it's very important that you only go to the place that's right for you. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing today. It's your body. It's your practice. It's your time to decompress. It's your time to open and expand. Finding the place that works for you and your body in this now present moment. Deep, slow, smooth inhalations and deep, slow, smooth exhalations. Just allow everything to soften, to open, to decompress, and to expand. Long, slow, smooth release. When the time is right, we're just going to stay lying on, bring ourselves up to a seated posture. Extend that left knee, right foot to left inner thigh, exhaling. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Deep, slow breaths. Chest forward, hips back. Allowing the hands to go to the top of the thigh, shin, or around the ball of the foot as the shoulders soften and we curl the toe towards the head and chest, releasing through the back of the shin as well as the back of the thigh bone. When ready, slowly rise up. We're going to recline back into a wonderful lying posture. Allow the crown of the head to touch down. The hips are already feeling looser, more open and expanded. I'm going to take my right ankle onto the outside of my left kneecap, and I'm going to allow my left knee to drop down, only as far as I can without my left baby toe lifting off the mat. So feel the left baby toe rolling into the ground as I roll my left knee in, opening through the outside of the hip. Now from here, I'm going to squeeze my glutes together, tuck my tail, lift my pelvis, and think about pushing both of my hips towards the right corner wall. And as I press both of my hips away from my lower spine and sacrum, I'm feeling the gentle opening through the hip flexor, groin, and pelvic floor. And if it feels good, I can reach my hands over the head and chest. In any arm position that feels right for me, giving me that open stretch and elasticity. Keep rolling that left knee inwards. Sometimes I like to slide my right ankle a little bit higher up to the outside of my left hip bone as I keep rolling that left knee inwards, squeezing my glutes, tucking my tail, and lifting my pelvis. Then from here, I'm going to slowly recenter, uncross that right foot. Before doing the other side, I'm going to push both of my lower hips into the air. And I'm going to see if I can bring my kneecaps towards each other while sliding my big toes and baby toes away from each other. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips up, tuck the tail, lift the pelvis. Feel the softening here. Long, deep inhalations and exhalations. When ready, slowly release. Allow the feet to come in line with the hips and heels. Left ankle is going to press onto the outside of the right thigh, just below the kneecap, as we roll the right knee inwards towards the left side as far as we can, without the right baby toe lifting off the mat. Then I squeeze my glutes, I tuck my tail out, I push my hips towards the left diagonal, feeling the stretch of the inside of the front thigh and hip and pelvis. Keep rolling that right baby toe down, rolling it down, 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 squeezing the glutes, feeling that wonderful expansion of tissue, muscle fibers decompressing, opening, relaxing, and releasing. And when ready, slowly inhale back to the center. This time I'm once again going to extend both of my knees, roll the balls of my feet towards the earth, close my eyes and connect to my breath. Deep, slow inhales and exhales here. If anyone wants to go a little further, you can take a block, widthwise, lengthwise, or heightwise, and place your lower spine and sacrum on the block. As as you roll your toes towards the ground. And this opens up those hip flexors. And if we want more, we can reach the hands over the head. Palms apart, facing the sky gives you a stretch through your chest. If you bring your palms together like you're clapping your hands and take your thumbs away from your other 4 fingers and have just the thumbs touch the ground, as we roll the elbows inwardly, we'll feel a stretch to the side of the rib cage. And we keep sliding the heels towards the butt and rolling the toes towards the mat. And if we want a deeper stretch here, we simply bring the block a little higher. Placing it directly on the base of the spine, the hardest part of the spine, is what's pressing into that block. So we can feel that expansive opening. Opening through the hip flexors, opening through the front thighs, through the front of the shins. And as the hip flexors start to soften, our jaw starts to soften. So we can really focus heavily here on bringing the tongue to the roof of the mouth. And as we bring the tongue to the roof of the mouth, this really releases the jaw and hips. Deep breaths. This is our final relaxation and release. If you like, you can close your eyes or keep them open. I'm going to finish our practice here while you're in this reclining posture. When you're ready to come out of it, all you need to do is bend your knees, lift your hips up, and slowly remove the block from underneath you. That's our hip flexor yoga sequence. My name is Jeff, and I have our wonderful assistant Simon sitting here participating as well. Namaste. Namaste.